I welcome you once again to the AFOSOP video tutorial series. I'm very thankful that I got an excellent response from all of you for my previous videos that I have uploaded. And in fact, I like to mention one about the video that is SSB decoded that was uploaded a couple of months back. And one of the comments that I got was from a person by the name Sumit Deshwal, and he had written there, thank you sir, very informative video. This made me realize that for all those years I was doing only ratification, because of which I wasn't able to get recommended. I will sure join AFOSOP shortly. And I'm happy to inform you that Sumit made a decision to come all the way from Delhi and join the AFOSOP program. And I take also this opportunity to congratulate Sumit Deshwal from Delhi, who cleared on this 25th of this month for Short Service Commission non-technical. And incidentally, what is interesting is that he had taken 3 times coaching before, twice from Delhi, one of those branded big names from Delhi, two of them in fact, and once from Chandigarh. And after that he came to Pune. Now the biggest challenge that I faced with interacting with Sumit was that he was a fantastic person, but because of too much of ratta, his mind was not working in a manner in which he was supposed to work. उसके अंदर पहले से बहुत कुछ भरा हुआ था. So when you show him a stimulus, it was very difficult for him to get out of those previous preloaded information से बाहर निकल के सोचने के लिए. But somehow he worked very hard, and I'm very happy to say that he did clear. In case we want to contact him, his mobile number is 9900318156. There's another person who has cleared for university entry scheme and also third in merit. In fact, this merit list came just 2 days back. His name is Kunal Mehta. He's from Pune, but otherwise in Delhi, doing engineering from there. Just finished with his final year examination. He had also gone to one of the big name coaching centers in Pune, and he went crazy because वहाँ पे जो coaching वाले सर थे वो उससे कुछ ready-made notes पकड़ा दिए और उसको बोला रटो याद करो. तो he said, what is this? He said, no, अफसर बनना है तो याद करना पड़ेगा. And somehow it didn't click well with him. And incidentally, his father is a general officer. So somehow he got to know about me. He came, and then 2 दिन वहाँ जाने के बाद he left that institute, did not even bother to take the money, and came and joined. And I'm very happy to say that he was there with me for almost 6 months, and he finally made it, and not only made it, he did extremely well. His contact numbers are also given here. You can speak to him and take a first-hand feedback as to what difference they found in the entire approach of AFOSOP training as compared to the big named ISO certified coaching centers spread all across the country. Now, before we move further, I'd like to give you a little orientation, not specific to SSB but about life. You know, there are always 2 sides of the coin, and there is a requirement that we understand both the dimensions, and unless the barrier between them is obliterated or removed, we will never understand the perspective of the other side, and we will always be responding or reacting based on partial input. So सिक्के के दोनों पहलू को जानना बहुत ज़रूरी है before you take a decision. In the same manner, when you go to SSB, we need to understand that SSB is not a knowledge-based selection. कि आपने बहुत सारा रट्टा मारा 3 idiot की तरह चमत्कार करते रहो, and then you go and give the examination. No, it's not that. It is a personality-based selection. And probably आप पहली बार personality-based selection में जाने वाले हो, because all other interviews are very different from SSB interview. There is no denial about it. And since it is different, the preparation also has to be different. Anyway, now before we get into the preparation part, SSB को देखने का, there are 2 ways in which you can look. One is the way the organization perceives it. And in that organization, the most important organization is the Defense Institute of Psychological Research, DIPR, which is a DRDO organization, and they have the complete technical control about the SSB. एक pin भी change होना है SSB के procedure में, it is this agency who has to do that. And then you have the Service Selection Board, and in specific the assessors there who carry out the assessment, and these assessors can be from the Army, Navy or Air Force depending upon the SSB, and all of them are trained by the Defense Institute of Psychological Research. Like I was also a GTO, and I was also trained by DIPR at Timarpur. Okay, now this is one perspective. The other perspective is of the candidate. अब कैंडिडेट में दो, एक recommended candidate का perspective और एक non-recommended का. And now incidentally what is the fun is कि अब तक जो बंदा recommended नहीं था, he was in a dilemma as to where is he has to improve, and suddenly when he gets recommended, he start giving knowledge, because now since he is recommended, he gets a plus sign on him. Now everybody seeks advice and he becomes the, Saraswati बांटने लग जाता है. But unfortunately, that is his perspective. So there is too much of a gap between how the SSB is perceived by the organization and how the same SSB is perceived by the candidate. And there is no formal government organization which shows the candidate as to what is the other side of the coin. And armed forces ne पूछ तो लिया, do you have it in you? And you believe you have it in you, but you really don't know what is the perspective of SSB from the organizational side. And the only agency who helps you in understanding this is the private SSB coaching centers. Now the relationship between the candidate and the organization is that of a kaddu and a chaku. Now you'll wonder, what is this? Yes, candidate is the kaddu and SSB is the chaku. चाकू कद्दू पे गिरे या कद्दू चाकू पे गिरे, कटना कद्दू में ही. And if you understand this argument, इसका मतलब बहुत ज़रूरी है कि whoever is the agency who is giving you training for preparing in the SSB, he has to show you the other dimension. अगर वो नहीं दिखा रहा है तो you are working on partial input. That is only one side of the coin, And the agency who teaches you who is involved in coaching for SSB is private SSB coaching center. Now people in this coaching centers are people like me who are already in the system. So we were using certain tools, we know how to use the tool. So we leave army, we come out and then we start training people so that they can be assessed through that tool. But the point is, unfortunately, हम जिस लाइन पे असेसमेंट करते हैं और जिस लाइन में ट्रेनिंग करते हैं वहाँ थोड़ा सा गड़बड़ कर देते हैं. ट्रेनिंग जब हम एसएसबी की कोचिंग करा देते हैं तो हम गिफ्ट रैपिंग पे काम करते हैं. इट्स वेरी इजी ना, गिफ्ट रैपिंग ऊपर से पॉलिश मार के छोड़ दो. बट जब हम असेसमेंट करते हैं तो गिफ्ट रैपिंग खोल के अंदर गिफ्ट की चेकिंग करते हैं. एंड इंसिडेंटली द वैल्यू ऑफ द गिफ्ट इज नॉट बाय इट्स गिफ्ट रैपिंग, इट इज़ बाय द क्वालिटी ऑफ द गिफ्ट इनसाइड, एंड फॉर दैट यू हैव टू ओपन द रैपिंग. So there is a conflict. There is a conflict of interest, and that conflict of interest is manifesting in the form of conflict or in the form of the nature of training given in the SSB. Gift wrapping pe kaam. And it is actually comfortable for the candidate also. Why? Because candidate wants to remain in his comfort zone. ज़्यादा काम कुम नहीं करना. He just wants to crack the SSB. Look at the word, cracking the SSB. Why should you crack the SSB? Why should not you get recommended by the SSB? In order to get recommended from the SSB, you have to work on yourself and make yourself an acceptable person. Now that does not happen by changing the gift wrapping. WAT, TAT, SRT घोट लेने से आपका व्यक्तित्व में कोई परिवर्तन नहीं होता. This you have to understand. Anyway, we will see it in the subsequent slides. Now, here is a person, glasses में grease लगा है, गंदा है. Can you drive? Even if you are a good driver, can you drive the car properly with these glasses? No, it is not possible. What is to be done? It needs to be cleaned. It's very easy to clean the glasses because it is physical. What happens when the dirt or the perception problem is in your mind? है ना, जब आपके ग्रीस आपके परसेप्शन में लगा, इसको कैसे क्लीन करेंगे? So when you go to the SSB, there's a huge perception gap, and one agency who is supposed to clean this and make you visible, make you see the SSB in its correct perspective, is the coaching center. Their role is to clean the dirt. But unfortunately, अगर कोचिंग सेंटर ही वो करने की जगह रट्टा बेस्ड कोचिंग कराना शुरू कर दे, then कहीं ना कहीं there is a problem. है ना, सफलता की कुंजी ISO सर्टिफिकेट नंबर 1 in India, 80% plus. How can you have a 80% success rate? क्या जंगल में 80% शेर होते हैं and 20% बकरी होता है या reverse? How can you convert all बकरीज into शेर? That's a tall claim. Anyway, current affairs and GK की कुंजी बताओ. current affairs की कुंजी पढ़ने से आपका analytical ability बढ़ जाएगा क्या? रटे हुए तोता बन जाओगे, है ना? So this is where I say gift wrapping पे काम. Personality की कुंजी. लो भैया OLQ को रट्टा मारो और आप ऑफिसर बन जाओगे, है ना. देयर आर कोचिंग सेंटर्स हु गिव अ कॉपी ऑफ द OLQ, बोलो इसको लैमिनेट करके टांग दो और इसे रोज़ सुबह शाम पढ़ा करो 4 बार. क्या ये 4 बार पढ़ने से आपके अंदर चला जाएगा ये? दैट्स वेरी वेरी क्रेजी. नाउ डज इट मीन कि OLQ की कुंजी पढ़ने से कचरा कैन बी टर्न इनटू भुवन? नो, भुवन एक सोच है और भुवन की सोच को अगर पैदा करना है तो कचरा को अपने सोच में परिवर्तन करना पड़ेगा, वरना कचरा कितना भी पेंटिंग कर ले ऊपर से रहेगा अंदर से कचरा ही, है ना. सो व्हाट आई मीन टू से इज कि देयर इज सम प्रॉब्लम, है ना. SSB इंटरव्यू की कुंजी, TAT, WAT, SRT, SD की कुंजी, रट्टा मारो बिकम एन ऑफिसर. दैट्स टू सिंप्लीफाइड. आई थिंक कहीं ना कहीं SSB ने जिस तरीके से ट्रेनिंग कोचिंग दे रहा है SSB वाले, उन्होंने दे हैव मेड इट टू सिंप्लीफाइड. रट्टा मारो, TAT, WAT. नो, इट्स नॉट दैट. ट्रस्ट मी, इट्स नॉट दैट. डेफिशिएंसी ऑफ 15,000 plus ऑफिसर्स इन द इंडियन आर्म फोर्सेज इन अ कंट्री लाइक इंडिया, है ना. वी आर गोइंग टू क्रॉस चाइना इन द टर्म्स ऑफ पॉपुलेशन, और हमें 15,000 ऑफिसर्स नहीं मिल रहे. द प्रॉब्लम इज इन द नेचर ऑफ ट्रेनिंग. आई विल एक्सप्लेन इट. Now to explain this, I'll give you an example from रामायण, जहाँ पे श्री राम जी सीता माता और लक्ष्मण के साथ वनवास गए थे, and there was a place where he had to cross a river. So he goes to the cavet, the boatman, and while he was speaking to him about crossing the river, suddenly भगवान राम realizes that he had stepped over a frog. मेंढक के ऊपर पाँव रख दिया. So भगवान राम picked up the frog in his hand and apologized and said कि हे फ्रॉग, तुमने बताया क्यों नहीं कि मेरा पाँव तुम्हारे ऊपर पड़ा हुआ है, मैं अपना पाँव हटा देता, मैंने तुम्हें दर्द दिया. सो लुक एट द आंसर. फ्रॉग सेज कि हे भगवान, अगर कोई और मुझे तकलीफ़ देता तो मैं आपका नाम लेके आपको पुकारता मदद के लिए, लेकिन स्वयं भगवान ही जब मुझे तकलीफ़ दे, मैं किसके पास जाऊँगा? If you have understood the analogy, that same is the condition with the candidate. The candidate goes to the coaching center to clear his perception. But if the coaching center itself build the perception, where will the candidate go? फ्रॉक की तरह हो गया, मेंढक की तरह. भगवान ही उनके पीछे लग गया. जिस आदमी के पास विश्वास करके उसने लक्ष्मी दिया था, ये सोच के कि सरस्वती मिलेगा, वहाँ पे उन्होंने ही लक्ष्मी लेके पेंट मार दिया, गिफ्ट रैपिंग कर दिया. दिस इज द डैमेजिंग रोल ऑफ द कोचिंग सेंटर. सो व्हाट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड इज, एज अ कैंडिडेट व्हेन यू गो टू अ कोचिंग सेंटर, यू आर गिविंग हिम लक्ष्मी 9,000, 10,000 रुपये. इमेजिन 10,000 रुपये इंटू हंड्रेड्स ऑफ पीपल देयर. 10,000 into 100. Can you imagine the volume of money? And then why are you going there? You are going there so that you get Saraswati in exchange of Lakshmi. But what you're getting? You're getting gold coated. In the name of gold, you're getting gold coated. रट्टा मार रहे. TAT, WAT, SRT, जो चीज़ आपको कोचिंग सेंटर में पैसा दे के मिलता है, trust me, I'm going to give you everything through this video. And let me guarantee you, in spite of that, you will not clear. Because ये रट्टा मारने से आपका क्लियरेंस नहीं होगा. Trust me, I'll give you 200% better content than the best of the coaching center. I'm not the number one in the country, neither I am ISO certified. But trust me, all this, over a period of time, I'm going to build this video library and you will get quality content. And trust me, it will be 200% better than the best of the coaching. It's an open challenge. And I can also tell you, I will in fact suggest the coaching centers to go through these videos and take these concepts and apply them. As such, people are coming to you, please give them quality rather than gift wrapping. You are free to use any of these content. In fact, you want content, ask me and I'll provide it. But make sure, in exchange of Lakshmi, people get Saraswati. No word of ratta to be used. That's the ideal thing. That's the military leadership training. You cannot have people sitting there and ratta maro, TAT, WAT. That's not the way the training has to be done. I'm not saying it because whatever I'm saying it has been recognized by the none other than the director DIPR, Defense Institute of Psychological Research. Now, I was involved in a project called Perception Management of Candidates for Improved Selection. And इसमें the attempt was to remove the perception gap. और इसमें 2 concept दिए थे, Armed Forces Officer Selection Orientation Program and Assisted Introspection. And if you look at the para 2, this letter is by Dr. Manas K. Mandal. He was the previous director, outstanding scientist from Defense Institute of Psychological Research. And they all recognize the damage the coaching centers are doing. He says in the para 2, I appreciate your concept, the Armed Forces Officer Selection Orientation Program, AFOSOP, and Assisted Introspection, AI. Internal discussion will be carried out on taking perception management of candidates as a project. And I think he did a lot of things on that. Anyway, that's not the issue. The issue is, now these concepts I have presented at various places, officially, a lot of places, including All India, standardization exercise. This is at Selection Center Bhopal. You can also see Dr. Manas Mandal on the top photograph. Next to him is the ADG Recruiting and the Adjutant General. I am also seeing the photo which is on the below and circle. Now, based on these presentations at various levels, there's a letter that has been circulated from the Integrated Headquarters of Ministry of Defence Army to all its command to be further disseminated to further units. And isme para 2, if you see, it writes, the officer has proposed, that's me, the officer has proposed two concepts as under for orienting the candidates for the SSB interview. The Armed Forces Officer Selection Orientation Program, AFOSOP, as a counter to the conventional SSB coaching centers. That's interesting. As a counter to the conventional SSB coaching centers. Iska matlab, people at the top are concerned about the damage the coaching centers are doing to the candidate. And number 2 is assisted introspection, AI, for non-recommended candidate. Because non-recommended candidates को पता ही नहीं चलता कि अगली बार कहाँ से क्या improve करना है. See, when you go to the second time, as a assessor, I expect that you will come with some certain degree of improvement. But when you don't know where to improve, because your belief is सब कुछ जो coaching वाले सर ने बताया था मैंने सब कुछ तो किया, बोल वो रहे हैं, शब्द हमारे हैं. Remember the 3 idiot वाला? So तुम्हारा condition वो है. Because you don't know what are you doing, because you're made to do by somebody else. You are a puppet in the hands of the coaching wale sir. So he gives you ready made and you go and vomit it there. Vomiting is not personality. Anyway. Now look at the para 3. Para 3 talks about these concepts available on www.forshare.com. Now these things are not available. There are a lot of changes there. The changes are put in the box. My number, my email ID and all those things are given there. And just for your curiosity, you can go to www.a4lsd.in and you can get those details. Also you can follow AFOSOP on Facebook, www.facebook.com/AFOSOP. And you can watch more of these AFOSOP videos on the YouTube by typing AFOSOP there. I will request you to kindly like it, share it and subscribe it. Subscription will help you to get notification instantly as and when the videos are uploaded. And I am going to increase the frequency of these videos because I believe it is making a lot of meaning to candidate. For a complete write-up on AFOSOP and assisted introspection, in case if you need, you can send me a mail at afosop@gmail.com, or you can also download the same from www.a4lsd.in, and you will get to know the entire process of this research and what are the findings. And in case you need more clarification, you can speak to me directly at my number. Now, when you go to the AFOSOP video library, you will find there are a large number of videos, and one of them is SSB Decoded, Understanding PIQ, Major Reasons for Stage 1 Rejection, Understanding GTO Outdoor Tasks, Understanding TAT Part 1 and Part 2. And there are 2 parts of this. Now, these are all very recent videos. There are more videos there. What I will request you is watch them and please go and compare them with the branded ISO certified coaching centers which themselves claim to be number 1 in the country, and watch their videos and compare the input. You will see the difference in terms of the quality of the content and sikke ka dusra pehlu. That's more important, because the more the confusion in the SSB, more the Lakshmi comes to me. That's fantastic. You earn Lakshmi, but keep Saraswati. You cannot give a printed piece of 50 कहानियाँ बोलो इसको बैठ के रटो and इसको vomit करो. That's not personality development. Very unfortunate. Anyway, in the Understanding TAT Part 2, I had given various types of slides that are shown there in the TAT, and some of them are neutral, emotional, social relationship, actionable, fear-induced, stress-induced, dynamic and all that. And that video appears to me from the kind of feedback through mails and through the comment box that I've get. It was quite an eye-opener to many. Why is it an eye-opener to many when there are so many number 1 branded ISO certified coaching centers? Are they not covering these? What are they doing then? That is what you have to question. You don't have to be blind to whatever I am saying, because unless it appeals to your reason, you don't have any reason to believe me. So unless you understand why I am making you do ratta when you have to become a military officer who has to use his own intellect to understand various situation and take actions. How can I tell you इस condition में ये करना, इसमें ये करना, and you will become officer? Oh, that's very, very unfortunate. Anyway, now along with the good feedback that I got through that, one big problem that I am now facing is in that video, that is Understanding TAT Part 2, I had given almost about 14-15 pictures of various kinds. 6 of them are shown here, and there are candidates, many of them in fact, they have put it through email / on the comment box. They have made stories on almost all of them. Many of the candidates have made on all of them, and now they want that I should interpret them. And some of them are constantly calling me or mailing me कि सर हमें feedback नहीं मिला. First of all, candidates, let me tell you, it's not possible to do that kind of a thing for everybody because of the volume, and it requires a lot of typing effort, and I can't do that. That is number one. Number two, isolated interpretation of stories has no meaning. It is all intercorrelated. Within psychological tests you have TAT, WAT, SRT and SD. And in fact, they are all linked. अब वो सब कोचिंग वाले भी बोलते हैं, but I'll show you how they are linked in couple of future videos. They're all joined through one, because the person who is writing them is one. His thinking is one. So how can he be responding differently in different tests? So the incongruency is coming because the person is not writing the way he feels. He's writing the way he has been fed. That's ratta. So there is no point doing that. So I'll not do that. But what I will do is I'll help you to understand how to, interpret your own stories, not from the point of view as SSB would do it, but as we do it in day-to-day events in life. It will make very much meaning to you, and also it will help you to understand your own thinking pattern. Okay. Now, when you go to the SSB, we know it's a personality-based selection. Even the coaching center wale sir bhi mante hain ki it is a personality-based selection. Yes, if it is a personality-based selection, वहाँ पे 3 technique use करते हैं: psychological test, the GTO group testing, and the interview wala, and you are the candidate. So these 3 techniques are applied. Now they are all looking at the same set of qualities, and so these are the entire SSB ka flow chart. You have the stage 1, then you have the stage 2 consisting of the psychological, GTO and the interview. Now major reasons for stage 1 rejection, there's a video. I will request you to kindly watch that. I got couple of fantastic feedback on that, and I think I'll generate more of additional points on to that video based on your input. So if you have any more inputs that you feel, and if I feel it is worthwhile, I'll include them and put it a part 2 of that video. That is major reasons for stage 1 rejection. Anyway, now what we are looking through this test is the 3 people, that is the psychologist, GTO and the interviewer. They are looking at the same set of 15 OLQs. So these OLQs are fantastic. Now tell me one thing, if I give you the definition of these OLQ और मैं बोल दूँ उसको लैमिनेट करके घर पे लटका दो और उसको हर दिन 3 बार पढ़ना और उसको रट लेना और इसको बीच बीच में स्टोरियों में इसको छिड़काव कर देना जैसा मसाला छिड़कते हैं, क्या ये छिड़काव करने से क्वालिटीज़ आपके अंदर आ जाएगा? क्या ये डेफिनेशन याद करने से और बीच बीच में GTO में बोलने के लिए लेट्स कॉपरेट बोलने से क्या आप कॉपरेटिव हो जाते हो? क्या आपके TAT के स्टोरी में राम वॉज ए करेजियस, डिटरमाइंड, इंटेलिजेंट लिखने से वो इंटेलिजेंट हो जाता है? ये आपका वहम है, आपका चार्ली काटा जा रहा है, चार्ली. These 3 techniques, they complement each other. ये एक दूसरे के पूरक हैं. They are complementary, and they are all psychological tests. Psychological tests are pure psychology, others are applied psychology. They are based on some psychological principle. Mother of psychology is the psychological test और बाकी उसके बच्चे. Something like that. I'll not elaborate it right now at the moment. Okay. Now, specifically when you come to the psychological test and that too in the TAT, see, understand the technique, each technique is looking at the same set of OLQ, पर उनका देखने का तरीका अलग है. Psychologist, आप सोचते क्या हो? GTO, आप करते क्या हो? Interviewing officer, आप बोलते क्या हो? And a person who is balanced in his personality, he will be congruent in all 3. So what he thinks, he speaks that and he does that. That's a person of integrity. And if there is an incongruency, that is what you think, what you speak and what you do, there is incongruency, there is disintegration in your personality. आपके व्यक्तित्व में बिखराव है, और ऐसा बंदे को SSB की ज़रूरत नहीं. जब आप रट्टा मारोगे, ना आपके सोच में, ना आपके विचार में, ना आपके बोल में, ना आपके कर्म में जुड़ा हुआ है, कहाँ से रेकमेंड होगा? अब क्यों रेकमेंड होना चाहिए? I will say you should not get recommended. because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. What are you supposed to do? Work on yourself, improve your personality. Everyone says that, but karwa kya rahe? Anyway, now when you take this TAT का story, कैंडिडेट बोलते हैं सर हमको बोला बी पॉजिटिव. ये बी पॉजिटिव होता क्या है वो पता नहीं सर, बस बोला बी पॉजिटिव. हाउ कैन यू बी पॉजिटिव व्हेन यू आर नेगेटिव फ्रॉम इनसाइड? यू कैन नॉट बिहेव पॉजिटिवली फ्रॉम एन एक्सटीरियर point of view when you are in your internal state. You are negative. With a negative mind you cannot function positively outside. And देखो ये बी पॉजिटिव बोलने वाले खुद क्या बोलते हैं? SSB को क्रैक करेंगे. Crack SSB. Why should you crack the SSB? You should get recommended by the SSB rather than you cracking the SSB. You know, SSB में क्रैक करने का मतलब SSB में सेंध लगाना ना, create a hole and get inside. पिच्छू के रास्ते से. Why should you go from पिच्छू के रास्ते से? You should work on yourself and make sure that the SSB recommends you. You should take pride in your recommendation rather than cracking the SSB. And then these coaching centers, they say be positive वाले कि हमारा 80% success rate है. You mean to say in a jungle you will have 80% share है और 20% hiran, or is it the otherwise? And if it is otherwise, you claim that all 80% hirans can be converted into share. What are you talking? And then cracking the SSB so that they become armed forces leaders who have the responsibility of guarding the nation. Crack SSB करके क्या कर रहे हैं? उसी सिस्टम में छेद कर रहे हैं जिस सिस्टम ने हमको पाल पोस के बड़ा किया in the name of SSB coaching. That's damaging. Anyway, I don't think that is be positive. And when you say that you have 80% success rate, you're best in the country with 80% crack SSB record, you mean to say all people who do the chamatkar balatkar ratta, they succeed through the SSB? That's your claim? And does it mean that you are ISO certified Kachara to Bhuvan conversion factory working successfully? Anyway, so what is be positive? इस बी पॉजिटिव वर्ड ने ही इतना SSB का वाट लगा रखा है ना. ट्रस्ट मी, व्हेन आई कंडक्ट माई लीडरशिप ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम, आई फाइंड दिस कैंडिडेट्स आर ऑब्सेस्ड विद दिस वर्ड बी पॉजिटिव. होता क्या किसी को नहीं पता. अरे ज़िंदगी में तुमने कभी कोई चीज़ किया है बी पॉजिटिव सोच के? तुमको जो मन में आया किया, बाद में देखा जाता है कि वो अच्छा या ख़राब है. बी पॉजिटिव करके कभी किया? ज़िंदगी में कभी तुमने कोई काम लीडर बनने के लिए किया? यू हैव जस्ट अंडरस्टूड द सिचुएशन. In your own way, you responded to that, and if it was good, people say very good, fantastically handled. If it was wrong, they say bloody idiot. How did he handle it? Anyway, now since this people are using this B, it has got a good marketing value. Trust me, it has got solid marketing value. SSB coaching वाले सर लोग B positive बोल के solid brand value बना के रखा हुआ है. Anyway, now since this issue is there and I find this word itself is creating a lot of problem, I will very soon upload a video by the name What is Be Positive. First of all, let us understand, from a psychological perspective, there is only situation and a response. And situation is neither positive or negative, it is just the situation. The response is based on my frame of reference. मैं उस इवेंट को किस नज़रिए से देखता हूँ, एंड जिस भी नज़रिए से देखता हूँ वो रेस्पॉन्स की क्वालिटी अगर सामाजिक दायरे में फिट होता है और उसके मुताबिक है, इट इज़ अ पॉजिटिव रेस्पॉन्स. और अगर वो फ्रेम तोड़ के कुछ करता, सोशल स्ट्रक्चर तोड़ के कुछ करता, वो गलत है. उदाहरण के लिए निर्भया का बस में आना एक सिचुएशन है. दिल्ली में जो निर्भया रेप केस हुआ था, निर्भया का बस में आना इज ओनली अ सिचुएशन, बट द फ्रेम ऑफ रेफरेंस थ्रू विच द ड्राइवर एंड अदर्स सॉ, डेफिनेटली देयर वाज अ प्रॉब्लम इन द फ्रेम ऑफ रेफरेंस एंड दे raped her and brutally murdered her. Now this response to that event, what is that event? Nirbhaya Kana. What is the response? Raped and killed. Now this raped and killed makes this response unacceptable. So called negative response from the coaching wale saron ke point of view se. If let us take, if there was a different driver, Nirbhaya comes, this driver says कि बेटा आप अकेले कहाँ जा रहे हो इतने समय पे, and he says कि come sit here, and then he drops him wherever safely. So Nirbhaya comes, that's a situation, frame of reference positive और सकारात्मक, and response उसको safely छोड़ दिया जहाँ पे जाए. So where is this be positive or where is this be negative? When Nirbhaya का rape हुआ, nobody thought whether it was positive or negative. It was my belief system and I raped her. And at the same time, when I saved Nirbhaya, it was neither positive nor negative. I felt like saving and I saved her. बाद में लोगों ने बोला बड़ा अच्छा बंदा है, अच्छा काम किया. But unfortunately coaching वाले सर ने क्या कर दिया, before you respond आपके दिमाग में डाल दिया be positive वाला करते रहना. कैसे करोगे यार? You cannot do that if your mind is negative. Trust me, I mean it. Anyway, so I'll upload this. I'll request you to kindly subscribe to this AFOSOP video because you'll get instant notification of that, and do share with this your friends. Now, for the time being, to explain what is be positive, एक छोटा सा model use करता हूँ. You know, I say SSB is a subset of life. आप देखो left hand top corner में भी next to the AFOSOP logo, it is written SSB is a subset of life. It's very simple. Let me give you an example. Let us take your mother prepares biryani in a big vessel. And when you come home, she puts some biryani from that big vessel into a plate and she gives it to you. And then you realize कि biryani में कुछ गड़बड़ है, अच्छा नहीं लग रहा. So does it mean the problem is in the chota biryani, chota plate ka biryani? No, the problem is not in the chota plate ka biryani. The problem exists in the bada biryani when it was prepared in the vessel. And if you want to now do some correction, it cannot happen at the chota plate. It has to happen at the bada vessel. If you have understood this analogy, the bada vessel is the life and the chota plate is the SSB. SSB is a subset of life as shown here. So you cannot do anything else in the SSB other than what you do in the SSB. And anything you try to do other than what you do in the life, that's ratta, that's faking, that's the mask. That is the gift wrapping. आप में कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं है, आप में पावर ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन नहीं है, आप में जनरल नॉलेज नहीं है, आप में करंट अफेयर्स नहीं है, आप करंट अफेयर्स की कुंजी पढ़ते हो, आप ओएल क्यू रट के ओएल क्यू सुनाते हो. दिस इज मास्क एंड दिस इज द गिफ्ट रैपिंग फॉर विच यू आर पेइंग. एंड माई ट्रेनिंग इज उस गिफ्ट रैपिंग को फाड़ दो, अब आ जाओ. द मोमेंट दैट मास्क इज आउट, देयर इज नथिंग इनसाइड, देन व्हाई आर यू पेइंग सो मच ऑफ मनी? सो समवेयर देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम इन द नेचर ऑफ ट्रेनिंग. Anyway, now to explain SSB is a subset of life, I'll use a little concept called social field theory. ध्यान से सुनना, इस theory को पहले हम जीवन के लिहाज से समझेंगे, अपने जीवन के कुछ events को लेके देखेंगे, and then अगर ये समझ में आ जाता है तो हमें इतनी समझ जरूर है कि इस समझ को लेके हम दोबारा SSB के ऊपर इसको मॉडल कर सकते हैं, है ना? So I'll request you to kindly watch the video SSB decoded before you watch further video, because watching that video will help you to understand this entire concept much in a greater manner as compared to without watching that, because that will give you a lot of clarity. Now, man is a social animal. What it means that over a period of evolution we have moved from the jungle and we have become civilized. But trust me, man is a social animal. Still the animal exists inside us. It is only about 1% of our portion that is social, rest 99% is still animal. Look at the newspaper, father raping the daughter, भाई ने भाई को मार दिया, प्रॉपर्टी के लिए मार दिया, काम, क्रोध, लोभ, मोह, अहंकार, इसके वश में हम क्या क्या कर जाते हैं. So where is the social animal? So our entire effort to become a better human being means is 1% social को, can I make it 1.5? If I can do that, I'm a better human being. Anyway, to understand this concept much more clearly, I'll use a little model, be positive को explain करने के लिए. Social field theory. Now, this is the social environment in which you and me live. What does the social environment live? Here, law of the civilization exists. So it puts a structure. जैसे मैं आर्मी में था तो आर्मी puts a structure. कुछ चीज़ें मैं आर्मी में रहते हुए नहीं कर सकता. If I do that, I'm breaking the structure. Similarly, if I am a friend, the friend का एक दायरा है, उस दायरे के बाहर कुछ किया तो I am breaking the trust. If I am a husband-wife relationship, no, it puts a frame. If I do anything outside that frame, I am breaking the structure. So social field, and when that puts a structure, and you or me are the person in that social environment, and in day to day we keep encountering various situations. For example, Nirbhaya ka bus mein aana is a social situation, and this person is the driver. So he sees this and then he responds to that situation, and as a process of the response, what we get is a behavior back into the environment. Now this behavior is a function of your personality interacting with the given environment. You change the person, keeping the situation same, you will find the behavior changing. Why? Because personality के parameters are different from each one of us. मेरा मेरा जेनेटिक्स अलग, मेरा परिवेश जिसमें मैं पालन पोषण किया उसमें वो अलग, मेरा विश्वास अलग. सो माई पर्सनैलिटी इज माई बिहेवियर, एटीट्यूड, बिलीफ सिस्टम एंड वैल्यू सिस्टम. दीज आर द वेरिएबल्स दैट मेक्स मी बिहेव डिफरेंटली. So you change these variables, your behavior change. So you cannot keep these variables, your attitude, belief system, value system intact, but change at the behavior level. That's faking. That's nautanki. That's ratta. That's the SSB coaching model, unfortunately. Anyway, now to understand this social field theory, we'll take 3 case studies. Case study number 1 is 11 December 2007. It's a Gurgaon incident, Euro International School. Person involved, Abhishek Tyagi, is a class 10 student and 15 years old when this incident happened. What was the incident? 2 friends had serious fight in the school. And what was the response to that fight by Abhishek Tyagi? Next day, he gets his father's service revolver and shoots the other boy 4 times in the school. Abhishek Tyagi's behavior is a function of his personality interacting with the given environment. किसने बताया बी पॉजिटिव सोचना? यहाँ पे हम कोई बी पॉजिटिव बी नेगेटिव नहीं सोचते. जो मेरा बिलीफ सिस्टम है उसके आधार पर मैं काम कर जाता हूँ. हाउ कैन मेरे कोचिंग वाले सर बोल सकते हैं व्हेन आई हैव ए नेगेटिव माइंड टू बी पॉजिटिव विदाउट टेलिंग हाउ टू बी? Anyway, just to understand this case little more detail, this is the social field theory. We'll understand Abhishek Tyagi's response in this model once again. So this is Abhishek Tyagi. This was the incident. So fighting between 2 friends. And what was seen later? Next day he comes with a pistol and shoots his friend. Now his behavior is a function of his personality interacting with the environment that we already seen. If I ask you, इस इवेंट को अगर आप देखो और अभिषेक त्यागी के कैरेक्टर के बारे में, उसके पर्सनालिटी के बारे में या उसके व्यक्तित्व के बारे में कुछ बोलो तो क्या बोलोगे? मैंने OLQ के पॉइंट लिखे हुए. आप जीवन के लिहाज से गुस्सा बहुत आता है, एक्सेप्टेंस नहीं है, क्षमा नहीं कर सकता, बहुत ज़्यादा इंटॉलरेंट है, ऑल दोज थिंग्स. पुअर कम्युनिकेशन. इनिशिएटिव देखो, इनिशिएटिव तो लिया, दिशा देखो, गन ही लेके चला गया. लुक एट, इज इट करेज टू शूट अ पर्सन? आई डोंट थिंक इट इज़ नॉट करेज. So look at all the, if you have to, is it the solution to a problem? School में लड़ाई हो गई. Is it effective intelligence? Is it practical intelligence to go and shoot your friend if you have a fight? Do you think he has got good power of expression to communicate, Papa, I'm going to take your pistol tomorrow, I'm going to shoot? So he was carrying all this thing in his mind, in his thoughts, in his words he didn't speak. Next day goes and shoots. So there is an incongruency in his thoughts, words and action. Karma, vacha, mansa. Anyway, what led to the situation? TAT के format में fight between 2 friends. What is currently happening? Planning how to kill him. And what is the final round? Shot him. Case study number 2. Now this case is of Pune, 2nd November 2012. Preeti Meshram, class 12 student, 17 years old then. इंसिडेंट क्या था? प्रीति मेश्राम के पिताजी ने 2012 दिवाली के टाइम में उससे बोला कि बेटा, ड्यू टू फाइनेंशियल कंस्ट्रेंट्स आई विल नॉट बी एबल टू गिव यू अ न्यू ड्रेस दिस दिवाली. एंड दिस गर्ल कमिट्स सुसाइड. ड्रेस नहीं मिला. Look at the response. Preeti Meshram behavior is a function of her personality interacting with the given environment. किसने बोला बेटा बी पॉजिटिव? किसी ने नहीं बोला. उसको जो लगा उसने किया. Why? Because that's my belief system, that's my value system, that's my everything. So how can कोचिंग वाले सर बोल सकते बी पॉजिटिव बी पॉजिटिव? अरे जब नहीं हो रहा बी पॉजिटिव तो रास्ता बताओ ना. रास्ता तो बताते नहीं. Anyway, let's put Preeti Meshram issue here so that we understand. So this is, let us assume Preeti Meshram as a student and this is the incident, ड्रेस का ना मिलना. So that was the situation. And इस situation को प्रीति मेश्राम ने अपने inner world में लिया. She processed this information inside. Her software was corrupted and this was the result. So the problem is in her software. Now, if putting in the same model, her behavior, Preeti Meshram behavior is a function of personality interacting with the environment. That is her attitude, her belief system. If I ask you what are the qualities, you will say, sir, low, poor self-esteem, poor relationship with the father, poor communication, there is hiding in a low self-esteem. कहीं ना कहीं उसका locus of control is external rather than internal, and a lot of things. Social adaptability, cooperation, sense of response. Initiative तो बहुत जबरदस्त है. Initiative का दिशा देखो ना. कोचिंग वाले सर भी आपको बोलते हैं कि जीडी में पहले बोलना, पीजीटी में पहले पकड़ लेना, फट्टा बल्ली अंदर घुस जाना, इनिशिएटिव लेना. दिशा, दिशा के बारे में कौन बताएगा? है इनिशिएटिव तो प्रीति मेश्राम ने भी लिया. कि दिशा, इनिशिएटिव तो अभिषेक त्यागी ने भी पिस्टल उठा के किया. दिशा का कौन करेगा? अरे जब मुझे कुछ आता ही नहीं है जीडी में, मैं सबसे पहले बोल के क्या बोलूँगा? व्हाट अबाउट द कंटेंट? उसको बोलते रट्टा मार लो, रट्टा मारने से कंटेंट बिल्ड हो जाएगा, मेरा एनालिटिकल एबिलिटी आ जाएगा। PIQ घोट लिया, SD घोट लिया। What are we doing? What led to this situation? ड्रेस का नहीं मिल रहा। What is currently happening? Planning how to execute my own death. And what is the final outcome? Executed. Case study number 3. 2 बच्चों का था, बड़ों का देखते, बड़ों का क्या हाल है। Now, 11th December 2007, place of incident Koregaon Park, Pune. Name is not mentioned. The person involved is a 52-year-old male, CEO of a multinational company. Big shot. Big मतलब very big shot. Requirement, social situation क्या था? He wanted promotion. He was CEO. He wanted to be part of the board of directors. Na big man. Look at the approach. CEO asked daughter to have sex with his boss. He wanted to get promoted as director. Success. आप लोगों को भी तो सक्सेस ही चाहिए SSB से. Success at what cost? Behavior is a function of a personality interacting with the environment. सक्सेस एट व्हाट कॉस्ट? देखो, बाप ने बी पॉजिटिव नहीं सोचा, आप कैसे सोचोगे TAT WAT SRT में? एक बाप बी पॉजिटिव नहीं सोच पाया। हमारे कोचिंग वाले सर बोलते बी पॉजिटिव, थिंक पॉजिटिव। अरे हाउ टू थिंक पॉजिटिव, ये तो बताओ कोचिंग वाले सर। बी पॉजिटिव ने SSB की इतनी बैंड बजा रखी है, इतनी बैंड बजा रखी है कि यू रिमूव दिस कॉन्सेप्ट का कंफ्यूजन एंड पीपल विल बिकम ऑल राइट। दैट इज व्हाट हैपेंड विद सुमित देशवाल एंड कुणाल मेहता, हु वर गिवन रोट मेमोरी करने के लिए क्या तुक है, इसको कोई समझ में नहीं, उनको कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा। हाउ कैन यू बिकम ए लीडर इफ यू डोंट अप्लाई योर ओन ब्रेन? एनीवे, लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड दिस फादर का कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ प्रमोशन. सो दिस इज द फादर हु इज ऑल्सो द CEO. ही वांटेड प्रमोशन एंड इस प्रमोशन के लिए उनका जो रिस्पॉन्स था दैट वाज आस्किंग हिज ओन डॉटर टू स्लीप विद हिज बॉस. His personality is a function of his attitude, belief system and value system. क्या इसको WAT TAT SRT रटवा देते तो ये ठीक हो जाता? क्या बात करते हो? What are his qualities? Effective intelligence. देखो प्रमोशन के लिए कितना ज़बरदस्त प्रैक्टिकल इंटेलिजेंस, बेटी को ही बेच दिया. रीजनिंग एबिलिटी, ऑर्गेनाइजिंग पावर ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन, सोशल एडेप्टर, कॉपरेशन घर में नहीं, बाहर क्या करेगा? सेंस ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, अपनी बेटी के लिए रिस्पॉन्सिबल नहीं, वो बाहर करेगा? क्या बी पॉजिटिव की बातें करते हो? इनिशिएटिव देखो कितना जबरदस्त, सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस, स्पीड और डिसीजन देखो क्या जबरदस्त डिसीजन लिया. एबिलिटी टू इन्फ्लुएंस द ग्रुप, लाइवलीनेस, डिटर्मिनेशन, करेज. डिटर्मिनेशन देखो, मेरे को डिटर्माइंड हूँ, सक्सेस तो मुझे चाहिए, SSB से मुझे निकलना है, मुझे CEO से बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स में आना है. लुक एट द वे व्हाट लेड टू द सिचुएशन, प्रमोशन चाहिए. व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, बेटी को भेजने की तैयारी. व्हाट इज द फाइनल आउटकम, जेल में चला गया. Anyway, now having understood these case studies taken from real life and using social field theory, what I will do is I'll take the same thing from a SSB perspective. In SSB also you are shown a picture. Now this picture is a picture, but actually it's a psychological stimulus, and then you are asked to write what led to the situation, what is currently happening, and what is the final outcome. I'll request you to watch the Understanding TAT Part 1 and Part 2 video. It will give you a lot of details about this. Okay. Now once you write, so you take this event, you create a social situation, and then you create a main character. I'll not call it hero because the moment I say hero, coaching वाले सर ने hero बनाने के चक्कर में पूरा ऑयल की उसके पीछे डाल के जीरो बना दिया तुम्हें. इसलिए I'll not say hero. You create a character who engages with this social situation. Or it can be one person or maybe more than one person, and interact. And in the process of interaction, he gives out a behavior back. जिस तरह से हमने प्रीति मेश्राम, अभिषेक त्यागी और वो CEO साहब का हमने बिहेवियर को एनालाइज किया, सेम उसी तरीके से हियर ऑल्सो योर बिहेवियर इज रिकॉर्डेड और इट इज ऑब्जर्व थ्रू योर साइकोलॉजिकल डोजियर एंड देन बिहेवियर एज अ फंक्शन ऑफ योर पर्सनैलिटी इंटरेक्ट विद द गिवन एनवायरमेंट. नाउ व्हाट इज टू बी अंडरस्टूड इज उन तीनों प्रीवियस केस स्टडीज में द कैरेक्टर्स वर रियल. प्रीति मेश्राम, अभिषेक त्यागी एंड द CEO वर रियल, fully functional human beings. So they were thinking and they were deciding. In this case, the main character that you create, he is a paper character. But he is doing everything because you are thinking for him. He is your creation. वो आपकी रचना है और आपकी रचना में रचयिता के गुण दिखते हैं. इसलिए आपकी रचना जो कुछ भी करेगा उसका इंटरप्रिटेशन से जो भी वैल्यू सिस्टम, एटीट्यूड, बिलीफ सिस्टम आएगा वो आपके मत्थे मर दिया जाएगा. Because you are making him do, you change your thinking, he will do differently. But unfortunately, working on the thinking ना करके आप बिहेवियर लेवल में कागज़ के हीरो को ठीक करने में लगे रहते। कागज़ के हीरो को ठीक करते रहो, कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ेगा, क्योंकि आप असली हीरो, आप अपने को ठीक करो। वो आपकी रचना है, आप उसके रचयिता हो, रचना में रचयिता के गुण दिखते हैं। ओके, फॉर एग्जाम्पल अंडरस्टैंडिंग टीएटी पार्ट 1 में इस स्टोरी को लिया था, शिखा बीटेक 3rd ईयर स्टूडेंट का, और आप लोगों ने इसमें, बहुत सारे लोगों ने इसमें कमेंट भी भेजा है। आई रिक्वेस्ट टू, इस वीडियो को जिन लोगों ने पहले देखा वो भी दोबारा देखना, जिन लोगों ने नहीं देखा वो भी देखना, बट इस बार जब देखोगे सोशल फील्ड थियरी में रखना। और इसमें क्या करना है, आई विल टेल यू सो दैट यू आर एबल टू डू दैट एक्यूरेटली. Put Shikha as the main character there and Sham also as the main character there, because both of them are playing a dominant role here. Social situation is she fails in two subjects, supplementary in two subjects, and look at the way she responds. Pitaji ne bola kholo, maa ne bola kholo, nahi khola, and all that drama, and listen to that interpretation there. Trust me, you will start doing it after 2-3 attempts. You know, Chinese में कहावत है कि don't give a man a fish because he will eat it only once. Tell him how to catch a fish and he will do it for every time. So I'm teaching you how to fish. So please learn it. And I also request the coaching centers, if they are following me, I know some of them are following me. I have in fact got a threatening mail from a big man from Delhi. I don't know, certain degree of abusing language also about AFOSOP and all those things. RTA डाल दूँगा and all that. पता नहीं क्या क्या बोल रहे थे. Why are you scared of me? I'm just doing what I'm thinking right, as you are doing. Don't be scared. In fact, if you feel some concepts are good, take it rather than threatening me. Or if you feel you can partner with me, partner me. Don't threaten me. Because as you are doing, I'm also doing the same thing. I'm also giving training for leadership selection. The only my concepts are different, my approach is different, so you don't have to feel threatened. If you are feeling threatened, there is some problem with your approach. Please change your approach. Take concepts from here if you want. I'll mail you everything if you want. Take it. So anyway, read this story once again and try and understand the interpretation of it. It's very easy, you can do it yourself. Listen to that video once along with the social field theory, it will make sense. And then you will understand what is B positive and what is B negative. These words are confusing. Remove it. All you have to do is create a suitable situation appropriate to the stimulus. For that, refer Understanding TAT Part 2. And then, whoever is your character, let him handle that situation. In the process of handling that situation, heroes will emerge. You know, जिस तरह से बोलते हैं ना, प्यार करते नहीं, प्यार हो जाता है, उसी तरह से हीरो बनाना नहीं पड़ता, हीरो बन जाता है. तो आपने हीरो बनाने की ट्रेनिंग नहीं करना, आप अपने मेन कैरेक्टर को सिचुएशन के साथ इंटरेक्ट करना सीखो. और वो आपको कागज़ में नहीं सीखना, जीवन में सीखना पड़ेगा. और आपके हीरो खुद ब खुद बनेंगे. ट्रस्ट मी, इट्स वेरी इजी. एनीवे, नाउ जस्ट टू हेल्प यू इंटरप्रेट अनदर स्टोरी, because this has already been done, I'll give you another story here and read this story. I'll not read it here because I want you to do it, and then put it on the social field theory. जो भी उसमें characters है, put them into the main character to place में, and then whatever is the social situation, place them there. Look at the structure that arises due to the relationship established between the characters, and then see, are they operating within the structure or outside the structure. If they are operating within the structure, absolutely fantastic. If they are operating outside the structure in an unacceptable manner, story में कुछ response में कुछ गड़बड़ है. And I want you to put these comments in the comment box, because I'll be very encouraging to see people being able to interpret their own thinking. That'll be fantastic if you can do that. So this is the response. If you want, you can pause this video and read this so that you can take your own time to understand it. Initially it may not happen very easily. Look at the relationship between the characters, and because of that relationship, look at the kind of structure should be existing, and see if they have worked within the structure or outside. And also try to see whatever the creator of this response is writing, what would be going in his mind. In fact, in the future videos, I'll be giving you more clarity so that you are aligned much better. Okay, fine. So I'll request you to kindly put your comments here. Once I get about 100 comments, I will do this interpretation for you so that you're very, very clear how these things are done in the both in the life and in the SSB. And SSB is nothing but a subset of life. Okay, now I'll give you also an assignment. The assignment is, you take the same picture. I want you to write 3 responses to this, not 1, 3 on different directions, and I want you to interpret all 3 of them and kindly put it on your comment box and see if you're able to do that. It will be very, very encouraging to see that you are able to do it for yourself. You don't have to join any coaching center, trust me, if you get the right direction from the right source. So write that story, 3 of them, and for each 3 of them, put them into the social field theory, and then interpret the behavior of the main character or whoever the character is there. And behavior is a function of your personality interacting with the given environment. So now understand this. When you go to the SSB, this is the panel of officers who are going to assess you. Trust me, they are not बेवकूफ. Trust me, ये चार्ली नहीं है. ये लोग चार्ली नहीं है ना? The people on the left are people from DIPR. They are scientists. Their entire life they are doing this assessment only. इतने महारथी हो गए होते हैं कि वो सूंघ के पहचान लेंगे तुमने क्या किया, और तुमको लगता है कि उनको जाके कुछ भी रट्टा वाला तोता की तरह लिख के उनको चार्ली काट दोगे. ट्रस्ट मी, तुम उन्हें चार्ली नहीं काट सकते. एक आध एक्सीडेंटली निकल सकता है, एरर ऑफ जजमेंट हो सकता है, बट एरर ऑफ इंटेंट नहीं हो सकता. दे आर ऑल विद पीपल ऑफ हाई इंटीग्रिटी. You know, so when you go there as a candidate, we expect you to work on yourself, क्योंकि ये पूरा सिलेक्शन आपके व्यक्तित्व का, रट्टा मार के आपको लगता है आपका व्यक्तित्व का विकास हो जाएगा. तोता बन के चले गए वहाँ पे क्रैक SSB करने के लिए. 80% सक्सेस रेट वालों के पास ट्रेनिंग करते हो किस चीज़ का? TAT WAT SRT की कुंजी में रट्टा मारो और बिकम ऑफिसर्स. चमत्कार, चमत्कार विल नॉट वर्क. इस अटेम्प्ट में बहुत लोगों ने अपना ट्राई कर लिया, एंड देन यू से कि समझ में नहीं आता क्या आता है. ये इसीलिए समझ में नहीं आता क्योंकि आपका अपना इंटेलेक्ट यूज़ नहीं हो रहा. एंड ट्रस्ट मी, दिस इज़ नॉट बी पॉजिटिव. कोचिंग वाले सर को बोलना, सर ये क्या ट्रेनिंग करा रहे हो, लक्ष्मी लेके ये क्या बांट रहे हो, पेंट बांट रहे हो, गिफ्ट रैपिंग लगा रहे हो, सरस्वती दो. TAT WAT SRT की कुंजी रट रहे हो. अपने बारे में SD खुद वो लिख के देंगे तुम्हें. तुम्हारे पापा मम्मी क्या बोलेंगे वो बताएंगे. That's very strange. Anyway, you know, I want as youngsters, you know, I want to give you a little advice. Actually, मेरा advice नहीं है, बुद्धा का कोट है, मैंने इसको modify कर लिया SSB के लिए, क्योंकि since we are talking here from SSB perspective, believe nothing. Don't believe me also. Just because I'm speaking to you in a particular manner, don't believe me also. Don't believe the God also unless it stands your own reason. You know, बुद्धा का एक कोट है, उस कोट को मैंने मॉडिफाई किया SSB के लिए, और प्लीज़ अंडरस्टैंड इट एंड उसको अपने राइट पर्सपेक्टिव में लेना. You know, do not believe in anything about SSB simply because you have heard it from someone. Do not believe in anything simply because it is spoken and rumored by many recommended or non-recommended candidates. Do not believe in anything simply because it is found written in SSB coaching books or in the crack SSB sites, /YouTube videos. Do not believe in anything merely on the authority of your coaching wale colonel, brigadier, journal sir, and their big marketing claims of 80% success and ISO certified. Because if you don't question them intelligently, all this will color your perception and distort your thinking process and tamper with your natural behavior. Believe you must only after observation and deep analysis. It must agree to your own reason and must be conducive to the good and benefit of one and all. Only then accept it and live up to it. आपके अपने तर्क की शक्ति को अगर समझ में नहीं आ रहा, समझ लेना उसमें कुछ गड़बड़ है. लीडरशिप इज अ मैटर ऑफ जजमेंट. इट कैन नॉट बी टॉट बाय रट्टा. मैंने एक वीडियो अपलोड किया है डिसीजन मेकिंग का, जिसमें मैंने भगवान राम का एक इंसिडेंट लिया हुआ. छोटा सा वीडियो है, उसे ज़रूर देखना. You know, theoretically nobody can teach you leadership. you have to understand it, apply it, and then सिचुएशनल लीडरशिप है, संदर्भ के मुताबिक आपको अपना निर्णय खुद लेना पड़ेगा, ना कि कोचिंग वाले सर। बिकॉज अगर आप यहाँ से सेलेक्ट होकर चले जाते हो ना, ताज में डाल देंगे आपको कारगिल में भेज देंगे। वहाँ कौन से कोचिंग वाले सर आएंगे आपको हेल्प करने के लिए? मरोगे वहाँ पे। सो SSB is a subset of life. I hope these videos are making sense to you. If yes, I'll request you to kindly take time 2 minutes and put your comments in the comment box below in the YouTube. They motivate me, they help me to recharge myself and make more videos on these lines. In case if you have some business development idea and brand promotion, because I want to promote it as much as possible, you are requested to kindly pass on your ideas, and you can also call me and we can discuss. You can watch more of these AFOSOP videos by going to the YouTube and typing AFOSOP. Please like them, share them, and subscribe them so that you get more notification as and when it comes. Your suggestions for new videos are most welcome. I'll take time, but I'm sure that I'll listen to each one of you, and if it is worthwhile, I'll make those videos and post them there. You can follow AFOSOP in the Facebook by typing /AFOSOP. Send me a friend's request, I'll accept it. You will get all leadership development programs, schedule, notifications and all that through that. Do share with your friends. There's a website www.a4lsd. It's under constructions. A lot of documents are made available there. If you need something more than this, you're free to write to me, call me, and I'll make it available to you. You can share it with anyone. There is nothing confidential about it. There is no copyright. Anything can be shared, and it's open for all. AFOSOP Leadership Development Program, regular batches are scheduled in Pune, 30 days, and by mistake I've written both as 30 days. It is 13 days, 30 days and 15 days. Working professional ke liye weekend classes are also planned. You can speak to me and get the details. The July batch schedules are like this. The June batch schedule are like this: 15 June onwards, 22 June and 29 June onwards. The class timing is from 10:30 a.m. to 5:30 a.m. If you're interested, you can send me a request for your registration at afosop@gmail.com, or you can call me at 827-557-650, and the needful will be done. These are some of the people from various parts of the country who had come here and attended the coaching center. They have left big, some of them have gone to the big ISOs qualified, certified coaching centers, but they found the whole approach to AFOSOP was very, very different, and whether they make it or not, they found it much more useful than mere SSB. So speak to them and get a lot of ideas. This is the institute address, Academy for Life Skills Development. It is Pune. The email address and all those details are given. It's also available on the Google map. The route chart is also given. Come and experience the difference. The institute does not have its own accommodation as of now. So in case you're interested, you can contact Mr. Uttam and Mr. Raghav at the given numbers. The boys below, candidates Vinod Kumar, Shivam and Vaibhav, were the persons who actually found this PG, and they found it very good. So a lot of people go and stay there. So you can speak to them, and I'm sure they will know the needful. Thank you for watching. I enjoyed presenting these videos to you, and I'll request you kindly share it and post your video or comments. Thank you very much.